Very warm welcome to our event today. My name is Silvan. I'm head of sales at WealthArc. Maybe two main things from this slide. Number one, I used to be a private banker, so I believe that I fully understand what our customer need, how their daily workflow looks like. And this is a picture of me before I started to work for a startup. So this is what happens. Maybe let's quickly come back what Chris mentioned at the beginning. I think it's crucial to say that WealthArc is an all-in-one solution, so we try to help in as many things as possible with our tool. We are upgrading on an almost weekly basis to make sure that we can automate as many things as possible for you and your clients at the end. So number one is definitely the data consolidation. So we are consolidating data from more than 35 banks in Switzerland and worldwide to make sure that you have all the data in one shop, and you also have the enriched data from Refinitiv added to the whole system. Then workflow automation, as Chris mentioned, we're trying to help you with automating the invoicing part, the reporting, but also the interaction with your clients should be much easier than it is nowadays. Then digital client portal is what Chris mentioned is crucial nowadays. I think we have more and more generations giving their money to the next generations, to guys like me who are really into digital client portals and into digital overviews, not want to call their private banker on a daily or weekly basis and ask how much money do I have on my account and across all the accounts, obviously. Then the main part for today is the regulatory compliance. Also there we did a lot of work over the past few months. Also thanks to SEBI and our clients, we were able to get a lot of good things in there, and we'll keep working on those parts as well over the next few months to make sure that also when it comes to the end-year reporting and other things, we're up to date as soon as possible. So before we go into the part about WealthArc and how we can help you, I think it's crucial to mention the data security. I think it doesn't matter if you have the best KYC, the best CRM, if the data is somewhere stored in your servers and you have no clue who is attacking it, or you have no clue what is actually happening in your servers, it's not really helpful at the end. So we strongly believe at WealthArc that the best thing to do is to work with companies like Microsoft, industry leaders who are looking after your data on a daily basis with hundreds of people and making sure that your data is as safe as possible. So also all the data from ourselves, from our clients, is only stored in Microsoft in Switzerland to make sure we have the highest security possibility in the market. And also when it comes to the time that you need, I think your area of expertise is wealth management. You should look after the money of your clients. You should help them with whatever they need, so you shouldn't be able to, you shouldn't have to run any IT checks for yourself or do any IT work on your side. What we also implemented actually a few months back with Microsoft is a two-step authentication. So whenever you or your clients log into the system, you actually have the two-step authentication with an SMS code. So also there we try to get the highest security standard to make sure that your data and also your client's data is safe. So maybe it's always best to go into the demo directly before I show you a lot of nice slides. I guess you want to see if it's all true. So now we have the two-step authentication with Microsoft, my account. And you can see everything is browser-based, so you can log in wherever you want. And as I just logged in 5 minutes ago, I don't have to use the code right now. So this is how it actually looks like when you start your program in the morning with WealthArc. So what you will be looking at is the whole overview of your assets across all the banks. So how are your assets divided with all the anti-money laundering checks, portfolios. So overview across the whole wealth manager or the external asset manager. So usually you would have one guy, maybe Florian Amacker here. He's a relationship manager at this wealth management company. He would log in the morning, and I think the first thing you would check is actually the guideline breaches. So what happened from yesterday to today when it comes to the portfolios of my clients? Are there any guideline breaches when it comes to currency allocation, asset allocation, really to get a good overview of everything that happened in the past few days? And now you can actually react on this very quickly. You can call your client, or based on MiFID II, if you have more than minus 10% in one quarter, you have 48 hours to call. So it's good to have this alert also on here. And you can comment on those guideline breaches and also create reports afterwards. Next thing you would check is the overdrafts. So if there are any negative balance, that's good so far. Then we also have the new instruments. So I think it's crucial, I think all the wealth managers here, they have a different kind of asset class or asset tree. Everybody defines it differently, and especially when it comes to structured products like BRCs, everybody sees them different as a fund, as an equity. So with WealthArc, you can create your own asset tree, and for each instrument, you get an alert once you buy it, and you can redefine yourself, is it really actually the options, or do you see it more as an equity or as a fund, and you can define yourself how you want to see it in your portfolio. And then the anti-money laundering, as Sebi already mentioned, so it's important to have checks every morning if there's any transaction in the anti-money laundering space higher than 50K or 100K to make sure you comment on those, and can also add PDFs on any further information on this. So maybe let's have a quick look at one of our clients. He's called John Snow. Maybe you know him. He has 63 billion million under management. And he actually has several bank accounts. He has some non-financial assets like bitcoins, some real estate. So really has a big portfolio of different assets. We can also here see the different kind of performance that he has in the past. You can also easily switch to any other currency or time frame. Then the performance overview against a benchmark, performance details, everything that you would actually wish for, then the asset class that you define, and some region drawdowns. So what you usually would do is you go into the bankable assets, because that's what you are looking after mostly. So here you can see this client actually has an account at Lombard Odier, Pictet, Credit Suisse, Zurich and Singapore, and everything is into one view, which makes it much easier for you and also for your end client at the end. So if we go one step further into position overview, we can actually see that here we have everything in one go. So we have the Pictet Swiss franc account, Lombard Odier Swiss franc account, another one from Pictet. So everything is in one overview, and each of login can create its own overview, can drag and drop some data, allocation, and we have a lot of fields from ourselves, so from WealthArc that we integrated based on the data we get from the banks. But here we also have the integration with Refinitiv. So we have data like Refinitiv price, yield to maturity, convexity, so really to add added value to those data as well, to have it directly in the system and to compare maybe the price from Refinitiv together with the ones from a custodian bank. And if someone of you are actually using the icon from Thomson Reuters, we also have a direct integration with Thomson Reuters icon. So whenever you click on a stock in WealthArc, you will directly get into icon and get some additional information on this part. So maybe let's quickly jump to strategies. Also a crucial thing for compliance, to make sure that you're always in the guidelines. So you can really define guidelines for each client individually, or you say you have the guidelines for all balanced clients the same, for all growth clients the same, or very individual. And you can also mention that maybe the client has Novartis share he never wants to sell, or he never wants to invest in pharma, just to make sure you're in the guidelines of your client at the end. So now we are in the client dashboard, so that's a favorite part of Sebi with the KYC. So here we have all the information about the client to make sure that we are actually addressing him with the reports and invoicing in the same language as he wants to have. We have all the information about tax, proficiency, but also all the risk regulations when it comes to professional, semi-professional, to make sure everything is up to date. And this is also very important when it comes then to the pre-trade checks, to make sure all the data is up to date on this side. And also here we are also waiting for FitLec to finally kick in to better understand which kind of fields we have to add to be fully compliant also with this regulation. Then you would also be able to upload data or documents to make sure whenever something is running out or past maturity date, you can also reload it or get back to the client. And as Sebastian mentioned, here we have the journal of all the entries with the client, so the normal calls, emails. And also here we're trying to help our clients with automating some things. So whenever you email a client, for instance, Sebi would actually do clarus@wealtharc.com in the BCC. And whenever he sends an email to one of his clients, he will automatically upload it to the right client with attachment and everything. So also there to spend less time on this part. Or you just easily create a new note. You say you have a meeting in Zurich. You add some notes, you drag and drop PDFs with whatever documents which might have been signed, and you just save it for the future. And the last part would obviously be then the report. So you can create a report with your corporate colors, with your logo, to make sure that everything is in one go and you are ready for the client meeting. And maybe from this overview, the dashboard, the positions, transactions, and the strategy, as well as the report, is also available for the client. So everything that makes more questions than answers, like statistics or contribution or gap analysis, cannot be viewed by the client. Otherwise you have more questions and not less. So we keep it a bit simpler for our clients or for your end clients. Maybe let's come quick to the left-hand side. So this was the single client view. When we go to the left, we have the overviews across all the clients. So we have all the portfolios, all the positions. So I could easily go in and say, okay, we have some action in Nestle, some news. So we can easily just type in Nestle. And we can see automatically all the clients across all portfolios who are actually invested in Nestle. Also our total exposure to Nestle. And at the end, we could easily then go and say, okay, let's sell all of them, target allocation 0, and then we could do the trade. But I will show this in a minute how it looks like. Then transaction overview, this is the overview across all the clients and all the portfolios. So here maybe also it's more a compliance view that you would check once per month. You go in here, check for all transactions higher than 100K, and check if all of them were commented. So if one of the relationship manager forgot to add a note or to comment on any of those transactions, you can reach out to him and mention him that he should actually create a note and make sure that everything is commented. So if he got like 200K on his account, you can mention, okay, this client just sold his car or whatever, and you can easily drag and drop the PDF of the contract and make sure everything is there. And you can also make sure that everything is commented from regulatory point of view. Then the guidelines is just an easier overview also for compliance officer to easily check all the failed accounts. So whenever you go to failed, you would easily see all the mismatches when it comes to fixed income, equities. So when we see here there's a 42% instead of 20%, you could comment and say, okay, there's a bond coming back in 2 days, so that's why I'm not doing anything. If there's no comment, then I guess the compliance officer will call Gerald and talk to him about this issue. Then as mentioned, the fees and invoicing, so there's a lot more to show, but I will stick to the compliance part. So maybe let's quickly come to the trading part. So here we also want to help together mainly with Investment Navigator to make your life a lot easier. So for instance, when we do a trade for those two guys, we can also do a trade for all balance clients or rebalance to a model portfolio. But let's check just those two clients. Let's use the search engine from Refinitiv to get this DAX ETF. We can do allocation, value, or whatever. Let's go for 5% allocation. And now we will automatically do the pre-trade checks when it comes to guidelines, when it comes to suitability, together with Investment Navigator and also on liquidity. So all of the checks will be done automatically. So we can see both of the clients before had 0% allocation, so they need to buy. It's in both times it will be a buy order. They have the allocation before and after, and they both have 3 breaches. For instance, one of them has too much in equity after this trade, or has also too much in equity concerning to a model portfolio. So might not be good to actually do this trade on this side. So the liquidity check is green. They have enough euro. If it's orange, they have no euro but other currency, and if it's red, there's no liquidity at all. And here actually we get the integration from Investment Navigator from this part. So this is actually not registered for sale in Switzerland, so this fund should not be bought. And we're also working here on further collaboration with Investment Navigator, so it automatically tells you this fund is not able to buy for this client, but look at maybe 1 or 2 others which might be able for you. At the end, you can still decide if you want to remove it or not, and then you will be able to generate an Excel sheet. So for each custodian bank involved, you will generate an Excel sheet, which is also custom made for each bank, and then you can send it to the bank and they can easily upload it to their e-banking. Maybe the last part from the demo is here the back office. So we have here the investment universe and a lot of other nice features, but let's have a look at the audit log. So here you can make sure that everything is audited what you do. Every click in the system, if you change something in the KYC, you exactly know when, who did it and when he did it actually. So if you do a trade order, if you change something in the KYC, everything is in here. And also at the end of the year, you can easily create a report, send it to VKF or VSV, and they can do the work themselves and screen those reports. So I could talk for hours and hours about the system, but I think I will go back to the slides because we have other interesting presentations coming up. But that's, I think, the main key things when it comes to compliance. So what I've shown to you is actually the left side, so the KYC, the part with the CRM, journaling, and the documents. We also have the MiFID II suitability, cross-border checks, risk profiles, and pre-trade. And we all know that it's not enough for the future. So also at WealthArc, we still have 80% of our employees are working in R&D. So we're spending most of our money in this part to make sure we are up to date with also all the new regulations. So for Q4, we are actually launching the anti-money laundering reporting, so that all the breaches and anti-money launderings you can easily send to VKF, VSV, or the FINMA. It's just one click of a button. Then retro sessions is still very famous in Geneva mainly. So we have a new retro session report also there to make everything automated. Just one click to send to the banks or to the fund administrator to tell them how many assets you have there or shares. Then the MiFID reporting is something we're doing now for Liechtenstein, for some of our clients actually to be able to do the MiFID reporting fully automated to the FMA in Liechtenstein. And for Q1, we have the planned auditor access. So at the end of the year, we should be able to give access directly to VK, VSV or FINMA, and they can log in themselves. So it's not you giving him the folder and sitting next to him and using a lot of work. You just give him a login with a read-only login with some of the areas he might be able to see, and you can just go on with your work and spend less time on this. Then the one-click audit report. So whenever all the guidelines that you comment or react on, you can create a whole list after the 1 year and send it to the authority as well. And the audit log is again then everything that you did in the past. You can easily send it and also to the regulator as of next year. So we are spending also a lot of time on this part. We're also working on portfolio management, a lot of other things. But I think the key focus on WealthArc is really to be like an open ecosystem. So we know that we are not compliance officers. We don't have not too many legal knowledge. That's why we're working closely with some of our clients, but also with people like Refinitiv, Investment Navigator, Cleversoft, to make sure that together we can be this all-in-one shop and we can give you everything that you need for a daily workflow on your side. So it's always in wealth management we speak about cash. So especially with WealthArc, we have everything is automated also when it comes to the setup. So there's no setup fee, installation fee for our side, and we have everything fully automated. So we can bring you up and running within 48 hours, and you can start working with a tool. You're happy to ask Sebi afterwards if that is true. And that's why we also offer a 3-month pilot. So you can pilot our system with 2 banks, with 2 real APIs, with real portfolio data from your clients to make sure that everything is in order, you're happy with the system, and after that you could go into the 1-year contract. And yeah, for all the people who are here today, we are giving out a 50% discount. You just have to speak to me or to Nuri, and then you get a discount. That would be very good, so until end of this year. And then we are all ready for the next year together to be compliant and work together and make your life hopefully a lot easier. And if you're not yet sure to go for the trial, you can also have a demo login with this Jon Snow data and click around to make sure that you feel safe and everything is what you need. And yeah, maybe a last sentence. I think we all need that in the long term. It's better to spend some money now on compliance than not spending any money. Might be much more expensive at the end. So thank you very much for your time.